I was not gonna make a video at this time. Honestly, I do not upload at this time usually. It is almost 5 a.m. and I haven't slept a wink. I tried, but my mind was just racing. And then I decided, let me just convert this into a video because I feel it. Yep, that's an instinct I have. So I don't know if I sound more, I don't know, it's weird because sometimes when I don't sleep, I sound so awake. But if my thoughts are not very well calculated as usual, I apologize. I am sleep deprived right now. So I'm going to try to articulate things as best as I can. Anyway, I've been pondering about the whole loneliness thing for quite a while. And honestly, there were some things that I just wanted to address because this idea just is funny. It came to me like this morning, not this morning, but like, just gonna say last morning, yesterday, and it kind of was something I was dwelling on, but I didn't even sleep. I wasn't even thinking of it much at night. I guess my body was like, oh yeah, let's do this. Anyway, I think that it's very important to address certain things in this video. So, yes, trigger warning, absolutely, because this is the topic of loneliness. Like, this is deep. And I wanted to also talk about it in a way that's hopeful as well. That's what I like to do with my channel, because I think everything can indeed get a solution, or at least get like 1% to 5% better, which we often underestimate. So, take it 1% at a time. So, I have people in my life who do care about me. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I never want to be ungrateful. I have people in my life who care about me and people who ask about me and so on. But I think one of the things that people, especially lonely people, if you are like generally a lonely person watching this, I think you understand me more than just people who what's the word? If you know loneliness like temporarily, you won't understand my point as well as someone who has been very used to it. The reason being is because of the resurfacing. So if you haven't been around it long enough, there's not really much resurfacing because you're going through it. But let me explain. One of the things that it's weird because no one's supposed to owe me answers, but it's just fun to say. One of the things that no one has told me about when it comes to loneliness is how much it takes away from you. And before anyone goes like, it's bad, of course it's gonna do something like that, common sense, but look, people don't talk about how bad it really is. When you are always by yourself, you don't confide in human beings. And one of the things I learned is I've been a lone wolf for like a majority of my life. And I still want to say it's weird because I have friends, I have people who I care about, but I still call myself a lone wolf because I'm still associating with that version of me, kind of. Because I still remember what it's like. And even when you have people, you feel like you're alone. And sometimes it's because of the wrong influence, sometimes it's because you're used to it. And there's just so much I wanted to kind of talk about with this topic because there's so many ways to get by, and so many people would think, okay, you're lonely, that's it, you just kind of leave this world alone. Nope. I think I also learned that it's very lonely when you achieve goals or stuff, for example. Like, if you want to do something with your life, it is lonely when no one is by your side, when no one is there to hold your hand, when no one is there to tell you you've got this. And oftentimes people ridicule or rush you. And only when they see results or the immediate gratification, sometimes that's when they start to act interested. And it's quite sad. So you need to have your own back. And that's why whenever I make videos, I always emphasize the self and the mindset. So it's so weird. Whenever I vent, I always mention something optimistic. It's just my instinct because I'm thinking, Suzu, this is too depressing. You gotta look for a solution. But it helps. It keeps me grounded, makes sure I'm not ungrateful, and so on. But yeah, it's really painful because when you've been a certain way for like I said, majority of your life, it comes back. And I never realized, and that's why I said trigger warning, how much this impacted me when I started to make new connections as well. There was a time when I would just make new friends, even now, and then I'd just think, oh crap, did I say something stupid? Did this person stop talking to me? Did I do something wrong? And I was just wondering, those are resurfacing thoughts. But once upon a time, I used to have them all the time. And this stems from a lack of experience, social experience. Now, people need to understand the difference between loneliness and being solo. So, being solo is a choice. You're like, I'm independent, I'm cool, and this is something you've decided to do for yourself. And yeah, of course, it's best to be around people. We're all dependent beings, so we should obviously be dependent on other dependent beings. But lonely is not a choice. It's the inability to have a connection. And people think that this is because it's someone's fault. So I do say in my videos, you have to change yourself. You have to be someone who is, thinking well of yourself at least, because no one wants to be around a downer, right? But at the same time, let's think about why the downer is a downer to begin with, because I like to think of the roots of things, because it's so easy to blame people. That's what society loves to do. And let me tell you, my friend, that does not help anyone, and you should not do that. If you know where someone comes from, you can have compassion. So one of my favorite things to just say is, oh, I see where you're coming from. That's so sad, but you still suck as a person. I'm kidding. It's not one of my favorite things to say. It's just random. But it gives me perspective of, okay, this is why they're like this. And then it just tells me, but I gotta keep my boundaries. I still know what's wrong is wrong. Then at least I don't have to vilify people. And if we're talking about people who are like evil, that's another story. But I'm talking about just people who unintentionally hurt you or do stuff. Ooh, look at this. Ooh la la. But yeah, I can hear the birds tweeting. That's so cute. So peaceful. Besides the fact it's freaking 5 a.m. My eyelids are like trying to shut, but I try to sleep. My mind is just bombarded with thoughts. But yeah, I think that one of the things I learned from being quite lonely, I guess, was connecting with God and connecting with my mindset. If I have to be honest, guys, if I wasn't someone who was exposed to frequent loneliness or being solo, I probably would not have been able to have made these videos for you guys, because I wouldn't have known patterns of poor friendships if I didn't go through them. I wouldn't have known how to handle, depression and like really bad thoughts, especially when you're alone, if I didn't go through them. So that's why whenever I make videos and stuff, I'm not speaking BS by saying you can do it and using actionable steps. I've been through it. I'm living proof of what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So when I say, okay, be a person who someone is not going to run away from, like a repellent, like don't be someone who's a downer all the time. I've been a downer. I've been someone who's always low, and people stayed away from me, and I've been around people who are downers, and I stayed away from them because there's no joy being around people like that, no joy being someone like that, nor being around. And I think that people just need to realize this. But anyway, it's kind of painful because the feeling doesn't go away. Like, yeah, sometimes it does, and I feel grateful, but then it comes back and it just reminds me that that little girl who's by herself still exists. And it's really painful that when I say no one told me, it's just something so poetic, okay? I'm not expecting anyone to have actually told me anything. Like, it's not their responsibility. But it just sounds so poetic, so I guess I'm just trying to sound a bit fancy. But yeah, no one told me that you are going to, like, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, no one told me that being alone is gonna be something that's just, oh my god, I lost my train of thought again. Okay, I'm just gonna keep yapping about something else which is relevant until it comes back, because it's a very important point, I believe. But yeah, I think that loneliness has taken a toll on so much in life. It affects your decisions, it affects the way you think, and that's what people underestimate, your thoughts. If you don't get them in check, things will spiral out of control. Youch. Oh, let's do the age. Is it? No, it's not age-o-matic. Why do I keep saying age-o-matic? Because I play Tomodachi. I haven't played that in a while though. Should I do this? Yeah, sure. Are you kidding me? Only a blue. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to get anything. Oh boy. They say third's the charm. Third time's the charm. Let's try this. More like third time's the harm. This is nothing. No? Oh, we got Susan, I have. I already have her, but the bangs. Sorry, I have to. That's literally like her. I mean, right now she's kind of got the Susan in her. This is more like it because of the front parts. It's just the bangs, but yippee, and it's not a braid. Well, this is a braid, but yeah. Let's just get to it. But yeah. Being like when you have your own goals, when you do things for yourself, no one talks about how it resurfaces and how no matter what, okay, I think I remember. No one talks about the fact that no matter how much you have in life or whatever you go through in life or whoever you're around, it comes back. And it's just one of the worst things because you can have so much, you can feel so fulfilled, but because it's something you once knew, it comes back. And because you then form an identity where you're not as used to it, or even if you're trying to climb out of it, it's like pulling you back down. It's like, no, where are you going? It's like a safety net because that's what you're used to. So I've mentioned this a while ago in some videos, but our mind is actually not here to give us a necessarily good life. Our mind is here to protect us. So oftentimes our mind likes to drag us down to what took us before. So if you are unhappy with a situation for a long period of time, your mind, believe it or not, it's crazy, is going to think of it as a comfort zone because that's where you're comfortable. Not comfortable physically, but your mind is like, this is your reality. This is what you've been used to. So when you then try to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to form a better connection with people, this is actually interesting. It's psychological, so listen to me. And it's often why certain patterns happen in your life. This is why sometimes when you try to form a connection or when you try to do something different, your mind, sometimes things in your life go haywire. Maybe all of a sudden something bad happens. Maybe you lose a job. Maybe suddenly you lose money. It's weird. And sometimes maybe people dislike you. And then suddenly people come into your life. I feel like this is God testing us. Because when he wants something, he will test you to see if you really want it. But also the psychological or the subconscious, rather, explanation is that your brain or mind is so wired to believe that was your reality. The you who had no one, the you who didn't want to be around anyone. And, well, that dog just did a flip of the century. And because of that, when you're doing something different, your brain's gonna be like, no, come back down. Even though it thinks it's protecting you, it doesn't know what's harmful because the subconscious mind does not know what's real and what's actually false, which is fascinating. That's why you should use it to your advantage. So when you have thoughts, try to, as soon as you can, analyze them. So whenever I talk to any of my friends or anyone who is close to me, I tell them the same thing. Whenever you feel down, always articulate from your thoughts. Because when they spiral out of control, everything gets worse. And no matter what you have in life, because I've had like really bad things, it all stems from a thought. A trigger, again, it stems from a thought. But when you tell yourself and you convince yourself it's not that bad or you've been through it before, your body calms down. Calm mind is a calm body. Just remember that. And yeah, the feeling is just like, it's like that. I want to do something different with my life and then I want to stay. It's weird because it's like when you've been in a certain period of time, if you've been a certain way for a certain period of time, and then it's like you want to stay in that state. And that's why people say they like the sadness, that they want to be sad, because it's what they're used to. It doesn't mean it's what they want. It's because they feel like, this is what I deserve. This is what I'm used to. Like, I don't care anymore. And it happens. This is what happens when things resurface. This is what happens when we go through these kind of things. So the purpose of this video, it's a bit confusing because it feels like I'm answering my own question. I just wanted to talk about the pain of loneliness and how it still leaves a mark. Even now, I'm still feeling it, and I'm grateful for the people who reach out to me. I promise. That's why I say that I know that there are people in my life who care about me. I try to say that because I don't want to even doubt for a second that someone is there, because once again, thoughts. If I spiral out of control, I will take people for granted. But when I tell myself, no, people are there for me, but I still feel lonely, that's valid because my feelings are being acknowledged, and I'm also appreciating those around me. You know, people aren't around forever. Treasure them as best as you can. And this is one of the hardest things, actually. And it's like when I mentioned the thing about goals as well. There are people who don't believe in you. There are people who think you're crazy, and people who will never ever think that you'll be anything in this life, and people who don't even want you, worst of all, to be anything in this life. But most importantly, you owe it to yourself. And that's another thing. No one told me that you obtain goals and stuff, you'll be the only believer at times. Before someone can say they're a fan, you have to be a fan of your own work. You have to be someone who pushes yourself in the place of other people. And that's something that was tough as well. It could be for anything in life. And that's the thing. You only have yourself. You know your limitations. You know what works for you. You know what doesn't. People can actually take advantage of that. So only trust your secret vulnerabilities. I mean, I literally said it in the word. Only trust your vulnerabilities to yourself. Like, that's what I do. I do tell people about certain vulnerabilities, but there are certain things I'm like, you know what? I can't trust anyone with this. It's between me and God. And it keeps my life peaceful. I've seen what happens when people use something against me. Like if I trust someone with something, for example, I've seen what it does. What's the word? I've seen how they manipulate it against me. I've seen how people broke my trust by using things really like private against me and stuff. So you guys just have to be mindful of that. Like there can be people who hate you. There can be people who try to do stuff. Like a while ago, I was involved in a scandal. I think I did mention a post about it, about the fake TikTok account. I appreciate some people still remembering that and bringing it to my attention. And then there's the bots who commented on my Instagram, even though my page wasn't big. And it's crazy. People can do all kinds of things, and that's why having a good self-esteem is everything. I used to be so sensitive. I still can be at times, but I remember that I have to rely on myself. If you convince yourself that you are worthy and everyone else is saying you're not worthy, your opinion matters at the end of the day because it's you. That's why some people, when they scrape their knee, they start sobbing, waiting for help. And then there are some people who scrape their knee, realize how much it hurts, but they keep walking. Both are responses, but obviously the one where you get up and keep walking is more mature, because by the time you stop crying, you could have already gotten up and gotten a move on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to ridicule anyone who cries, okay? Like a bad fall is a bad fall, and it depends on the severity, but I'm talking about a general scrape, just generically. And that's the thing. People won't be there to lift you up. People won't be there to support you. And that's something that was tough for me as well. Like, yeah, I do know that eventually when you have a brand or when you do something for yourself, like I have you guys now, I'm very thankful to God for that. And I'm very thankful to you guys as well. But before that, I didn't have anyone. And in order to have reached you guys, I needed to do something for myself. And that's the part that gets challenging. So don't let anyone slander you. Don't let anyone put a negative name on you. And the reason why this is pinned to loneliness as well is because when you're lonely, people target you the most. Or people often target you when you're at your weakest. Hence a weak point, right? So whenever you feel down, do you ever notice that so much happens when you're down? Like one bad thing after another, after another. This is a subconscious response. It's because your energy is projecting that. That's why sometimes you can scroll and then you see something that's so relatable. Maybe you see a song and you're like, oh, that's so relatable. Oh, I saw a verse from a sacred book. Oh, that's so relatable. Because it's all according to your thoughts. It's manifested. And it's not something that you necessarily have to believe in. There are different explanations for it, but generally it comes from the thoughts. And this is a pretty universal opinion. So you don't need to apply any laws or anything. You just know that your thoughts attract things. And it's not, okay, I think of something and it happens. It's like a prolonged set of thoughts. And yeah. But the thing is, guys, it's become so challenging as well when you convince yourself that I'm no longer in that same pattern. It's like, oh my God, I might get emotional, but it's like I'm the adult me, right? Yes, I'm an adult. I don't know what kind of impression I give. Hopefully I give off mature. Yes, adult me is speaking. Okay, I'm zooming in because it's serious talk. Adult me is talking to child me, right? The little girl who was always lonely and so on. And I'm telling her, look, she's telling me I'm lonely. I don't have anyone. Or at least adult me can notice that, right? And an adult me, goodness, it's hard to say. I'm trying. Adult me is like, life gets better. I get to meet more people and I'm feeling happier. I'm feeling joy. And then the child me, this is like the mind when I was talking about leaving the comfort zone and being dragged back down. The child me would be like, no, but I'm still lonely. I'm still lonely. Even when I'm around them, I'm still lonely. You know what I'm saying? It's like an intrusive thought. It basically is. And they're tough to deal with. But that's the thing. And your child self will always reside inside of you. And that's why sometimes I say that you will never 100% heal, which is a hard truth, but it gives you some kind of closure. Like, okay, at least I know something is true. Because if you're legit told, oh, I'm going to heal 100%, and then you realize nothing is going to happen, it's a lie. But if you know, I'll never heal 100%, I'm a human being, I'm allowed to bleed, I'm allowed to endure, but I'm getting stronger. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you'll think, oh crap, why am I not at 0% damage? You're a human being. You fall, you get up, you fall. Do you really think you'll stay at 0%? But yeah, that's just how I see it. It's like the little me telling me, I'm scared. I've always been this way. There's no way it can change. That stems from the depression as well. That's why really nurture your inner child. And so important. I made a video about the inner child actually. It was on Heartopia, a game I used to play before it had a bit of controversy, but I still have the playlist. I'll see if I can link the video. But yeah, it's really important to understand the inner child. And when you realize that, that's how you can solve a lot of your loneliness, because it stems from somewhere. It can stem from a childhood. It can stem from the people you've been around. There are so many explanations why someone feels lonely. But yeah, it's painful that these things come back. But it's kind of like shooting, what's the word? Let's say it's like target practice, okay? But the targets keep rising. So you shoot it down, bullseye, it goes down. You shoot it down, bullseye, it goes down for like the rest of your life. But see it this way. At least when you shoot it down, it gets easier. So when you're a kid, your practices are weak. not even focused, and then you can't knock it down. You can't get a bullseye, or you can't really hit the target. So let's say you have to hit it about 5 times, and then finally one target falls down. And then eventually, as you grow, you could knock down an entire target with just one attempt. That's how much stronger you get. So the stronger you get, the better you can. And I believe that hopefully in life, the targets will stop respawning, and then you don't have to knock them down as much or anymore. I don't know, something like that. It's repetitive, but it becomes easier because you're targeting something. You're like, shoo, go away, shoo, shoo. And then that's just how I see it. It's a really random example, but I think it makes sense. Now that I think about it, that sounds annoying. It's like I'm just like, go away, you target, and then it just goes down, like, yay, and then it comes back, and then, yeah, just good old target practice. And speaking of, I aim at stuff in this game. Ironic. See, guys, the mind attracts things. But yeah, it's really important to understand this. You've only got yourself, man. You've just got yourself. And you need to value that. So turn your loneliness, your sorrow, your pain into something where you'll look back at it and say, I made it. And then you can tell other people your experience. So even though I make videos like this and I'm healing from this, and it's been quite apparent and visible even to me, I'm still healing, like I'm making this video. So I can teach people how to heal, but I'm still healing myself, because that's how you know the process just doesn't go away. Like, of course it becomes easier. Of course it becomes more manageable. And that's the thing. It needs to always be manageable. That's why I say monitor your thoughts, because you don't want it to spiral out of control. That's where it leads to action. So be very careful with that, guys. And yeah, nurture the child you, the version of you that felt lonely, the version of you that felt like she or he doesn't deserve it. You do deserve it. You deserve love. You deserve to feel good things. I'm not saying this to BS anyone. Trust me. I'm saying this as someone who has been pissed off by BS in her life, where I'm telling you guys with no BS about things that people would say that, it's weird. It's like when I hear, what's the word? People can easily say it, like, oh yeah, you'll be fine. No, I won't. Just admit it. I won't be fine. You can just say, okay, fine. I will be alive, but fine? You kidding me? I wasn't fine till some years. Look at these sheep. That's so cute. Honestly. Fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. What the? Why is the tail so different from the fur? Fluffy, fluffy. Before I get too carried away. But yeah, you've got yourself. No one's gonna believe in you. No one's entitled to believe in you. So don't think that people are going to just, be their picture. Oh, you want me to post a bridge photo? I don't care about posting a bridge photo. Sorry, dude. But yeah, that's the thing. You've got yourself. And people just don't get it. Like, that's life. No one's gonna be there for you but you. And do whatever you can while feeling lonely. Like, why do you feel lonely? Can you do something about it, like explicitly and abundantly? And that's what people need to get. No pain, no gain. I sometimes agree with this. I don't think you always need pain to gain something. I believe you should work smarter, not harder. But I do know with some things, you definitely need to endure some pain, not physical, to get something. But yeah, good old loneliness doesn't leave you alone. But yeah, to my friends who are probably watching this, I'm grateful to you guys. Honestly, thank you for making me feel, thank you for helping me build the adult version of myself. So there's the child version of myself that I said, oh, I'm scared, I don't want this, I know what's going to happen. And the adult version of me who's like, don't worry. Like, that side of me is still obviously believing the child and feeling some bits of the child self, but she's also stronger. There's a difference between the two. She's like, I'm not going to let it define me. I feel it, but I'm not going to keep entertaining it. You know what I'm saying? And you guys, my friends, are the reason why that version of me exists. Like, you guys help to expand that version of me. That's why I'm very grateful. So yeah, it all starts with you. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to achieve in this life, whether it's relationships, whatever. I feel like I repeat myself in my videos a lot, I'm sorry. But seriously though, also, I was planning a little something different for this channel. Like one video, by the way, a Q&A. So I might put a Google form up soon for suggestions, for questions. Nothing personal, please. Like, just kind of common sense. But I'll only make the video if I get enough replies. If I just have like a maximum of 5 to 10 questions, no. You can do more than one question if you like. So yeah, just ask away. If anyone is wondering what a Q&A is, which is a valid question, it stands for questions and answers. So you guys just ask me questions about anything really that's within my boundaries, and I'll obviously answer them, except I'll probably do it like an Infinity Nikki video. And hopefully you guys will get to know more about the person you're seeing on the screen. But yeah, I just thought that was a different suggestion. Some people have told me to do that, but I've just been like lazy. So like, I guess it's a 4K special, but it's also because I need to do one at some point. But yeah, it needs to have enough interaction for it to actually be engaging enough. I don't want to just pump up an entire video just so I can do like 4 questions. So respectfully, please interact with it as best as you can. Additionally, please support my Ko-fi page as well. And I have merch as well in my description. I'm yet to add more products. I'm just working on artwork and stuff. And I am working on a storytime video as well. I think it's going to be up sooner than I expected. It's going to be very short, just a notice. And if you want to know what it's about, I made a post briefly hinting at it. It's a very random post. I think it's the latest one or one before, I don't know. And yeah, it's just moments like that which I feel are best shared. Anyway, before I go too off topic, just want to say take care, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Not just on my channel, but being here on this earth. It's not easy. I get it. I seriously get it. But you are loved. You deserve it. And I'm not saying this to butter you up. You genuinely do. Nikki, don't be afraid. I bet some people are just like, yeah, right. No, man. Tell me. I'm telling you. I'm speaking to your inner child as well. Hopefully that's not creepy. Okay? You deserve it. You deserve it, honey. You've got this. Nikki, what are you doing? Okay, oh my god, no. What the heck? What did I do? Whatever. Okay, I guess you just shouldn't take pictures? What's the logic here? What? Okay, that was crazy. Wait, is this a natural thing? Oh, snap. Kind of. Oh, maybe it was just the spot I was in. Maybe. Or maybe not. But yeah. Yeah. I hope you guys take care of yourselves, okay? Make sure to eat on time. Make sure to sleep on time. Ignore me for today. I usually sleep. Today is just crazy. I'll probably knock out later. But please look after yourself. Please value yourself and know that you are indeed loved and worth. Nikki. Okay, you know what? I'm going to keep running because she's mean. Just keep going. Even if no one sees it, I see you, okay? Even if no one supports you, I support you. Support yourself too, please. Like, no one is going to be there for you. I'm telling you guys. I know from experience. But yeah. And to the lonely version of me as well, my inner child, I hear you, I see you, I love you, and I just want to tell you that it does get better. Yes, those feelings do come back like you fear, except we shoot down these targets with a lot more ease.